everybody, this is Lala Legacy, and welcome back to another episode of Cinderella Phenomenon. So, if you haven't already subscribed, that would mean the absolute world to me. And if you do like this video, at the end, please give it a big like, because that lets me know that you want to see more. Alright, let's get into this. Because of the severity of Jurian's words, Rumple decided he would bring her to the nearest clinic so she could be better cared for. Anise decided to go with him, and surprisingly, Ophelia and her children all opted to go as well. Now, the only ones left here at the tavern are me, Delora, Waltz, and Karma. They may not say it, but I'm sure they are blaming me for what is happening to Angel right now. I need to make things right. I close my eyes as a sudden bout of dizziness comes over me. Mother has always been the person that mattered most to me. I never questioned or disobeyed her because she was so important. She was my light in days that were often so dark. But I have no choice. If Mother isn't stopped, who knows how many more lives will be lost? The only way to stop Mother is to kill her, isn't it? I'm sorry, but this really is the only way. Yes, I know. But I do not think I could kill her myself. Delora has a knowing look in her eyes as she turns to address Waltz. We'll leave as soon as Parfait comes back from her meeting with the fairies. If you could fully use your magic, then we may actually stand a chance. Magic? What are you talking about? Waltz is just a street magician. What help could he be? Don't underestimate our magician. Waltz is a witch and a lot stronger than he looks. Waltz is a witch? I have the Neverland curse. Yes. I do not know that fairy tale, but what does that have to do with anything? Your mother was the witch that cursed me. What? But, Waltz, if you are also a witch, how can you be cursed? Your mother is the Tenebrarum bearer, which means she has the power to punish all witches if she chooses. As to why he was cursed, Waltz's expression darkens. Hildir needed to be stopped. I knew I couldn't defeat her alone, so I enlisted the help of the fairies. I betrayed her and she punished me before she died. Waltz almost single-handedly brought about the end to the Great War. He's the reason we've been enjoying this peace for as long as we have. I never knew! Of course, you can only imagine how displeased Hildir was with Waltz. Hildir stole my shadow and sealed it away in Neverland. Your shadow? We really need to work on your fairy tale knowledge one of these days, Princess. Peter Pan is a boy that lives in Neverland, which is a place where children never grow up. Waltz's curse means that he has been frozen in a child's body since Hildir cursed him all those years ago. He can't grow up, and he can't use any magic. Well, I can still do some spells, but only simple, harmless ones. For Waltz to get his magic back, he needs to find Tinkerbell, which is the key to Neverland. We need to unlock his shadow. But all this time, you've never found Tinkerbell or Neverland? I've looked everywhere I can think of. I'm sure she cast a spell on it to make it more difficult to locate. Even in the palace! Delora snorts, and I suddenly feel embarrassed. Oh, of course not. Why would Waltz look in the palace first? I mean, especially considering Hildir is the queen and has numerous secret chambers for things she wants to keep hidden. Looking through the entirety of the palace for a small box might be difficult. Neverland is a box that was left to me by my parents. It's made of gold with carvings that resemble a pair of wings. What? Waltz jumps at my sudden reaction. Princess? That box! I had forgotten about it, but I can vaguely remember an old box in my room that matches that description. Mother left me the trinket box and a key that matched that description. She told me to never touch the box or to let anyone see it. I've had it for years. All this time Tinker Bell and Neverland were with you? I never knew what was inside. I was too afraid to disobey Mother's orders. The thought of her giving you that box never even crossed my mind, but now, thinking back on it, it makes sense. I want to ask him what he means, but we are running out of time. I will have to ask him about it at a later time. I could get Neverland and Tinker Bell to you. I could return your magic. With Waltz back to his true form, we may have a fighting chance at this. So, what do we do first? We? There is no we in this melody, only us. But I just said I could help. It is too dangerous, Princess. But I am the only one who knows where to find the box. Then you will tell us where it is and we will retrieve it. It's as simple as that. I scowl at her with my arms crossed. I refuse to stay here and be useless while everyone else puts themselves at risk saving Angiel. Angiel is this way because I brought back Mother. I must take responsibility. And I will not let anyone die at Mother's hands. Melody. Mother is less likely to harm me. I have a better chance of getting Neverland and Tinker Bell without causing a disturbance. How can you say that after what's already happened? You're not safe either, Melody. No sooner has she said the words that a terrible blast echoes through the margin. Oh boy, here we go. I cough as smoke envelops the tavern. A silhouette emerges in front of us, and I feel my blood turn cold when I realize who it is. Varge. Just when I thought I was safe, Varge reappears. Oops. I always forget how powerful this thing can get. Where previously there had been a wall made of stone, sturdy and strong, there is now a sizable hole. Remnants of brick and stone collapse inward in the aftermath. The dust rises to settle around Varge's feet, where he stands casually twirling his cane. Hope I'm not disturbing anything, but all the doors were locked. Karma! Karma! Delora and I turn to glance at the wall behind us, where Waltz is looking. Karma is standing there injured. His forehead has a large gash, and one of his arms is limp and useless. He still manages to tightly grip the hilt of his sword with his other hand. Where did Karma come from? I would have appreciated you destroying less property when you knocked on a cavern door. And I would have appreciated it if you'd gotten out of my way when I asked politely, so I wouldn't have had to resort to explosions. Seems both of us are disappointed. What do you want, Varge? Don't we all already know the answer to that question? Come on. Varge turns to look at me expectantly. I thought the stolen goods would be brought here. What did you just call me? Karma lets out a harsh laugh. Has no one told you that women do not like being imprisoned against their will? Has no one told you people that it's not good to steal? I am not an item to be stolen or imprisoned. I ball my hands into fists. I cannot let Varge hurt anyone here. I have no idea if this will work. But if Fritz is that is such a weird way to word that. Okay. But if Fritz is fighting, then he must be able to hear my voice. Fritz! Varge growls, his eyes bright and angry as he glares at me. You need to give up on him, Princess. Never! Fritz, I know you're still there. No matter what you say, nothing will change. Fritz is gone. Adiuva! He won't. Varge chokes on his words and doubles over. You are being very annoying. Did it work? Out of the corner of my eye, I notice Karma preparing to attack while Varj is momentarily weakened. But something does not feel right. Karma, stop! What? Get the princess away from here! What's happening? That voice! Fritz! Despite the fact that it is Varj standing before me, it is most certainly Fritz looking at me through those eyes. Please, I don't know how long I can hold him here. You all need to get out of here while you still can. You need to keep the princess safe. Keep her away from the palace. Waltz, get her out of here now. No! I dodge Waltz's reaching hands as I attempt to run towards Fritz. Keep her safe, please. Now! No! Don't hurt him! Karma runs forward, his sword raised just as Waltz grabs my hand and pulls me out of the way. No! Time slows as I watch Varj slowly come back to coherence. His lips curl into a snarl as he begins to bring his cane down to the floor. Delora throws her hands out, and the collected light racing towards Varj. Varj stumbles back, his cane never hitting the floor. Varj growls as he glares up at Delora. Witches are so inconvenient. Unfortunately, Delora is not the only inconvenience in this room. Varj raises his cane to block Karma's next swing. Waltz grips my hand and tugs. We have to go, princess. I glance back at Karma and Delora. There must be something I could do. We're going to help them. My eyes drift towards Varj's cane. That cane is the source of his magic. If I can get it away from him, then Delora and Karma will stand a chance. With renewed determination, I run towards Varj. Princess! I barrel past Karma and hit Varj square in the gut with my shoulder, forcing him backwards into the ground. I manage to twist the cane away from him and clutch it as Varj rises and begins to advance toward me. No time for games. Give it back. No. You really are nothing without your cane, aren't you? For a moment, there is only silence as Varj freezes. I cannot read the expression on his face. What is he thinking? Varj breaks the silence when he bursts out laughing. It is the sound that heralds certain chaos. The cane is not my only weapon. I watch as Varj slips a dagger out from his sleeve. And what are you going to do with that little thing, poke me? Who said anything about you? Oh boy! With a smirk, Varj brings the dagger to his neck. This dagger is more than enough to do some damage to the princess's favorite knight. No! Now that is definitely cheating. This is ridiculous. You share a body. You'll end up hurting yourself as well. Varj shrugs, and I cannot tell if he is really unconcerned or pretending to be. I'll do whatever it takes. Varj smiles at me. In this light, his teeth appear to be gleaming and sharp, like he has fangs. Now, give me back my cane, and do precisely as I tell you, or the boy dies. I stand still. I cannot look away from Varj's gaze, which is bright with triumph. If Fritz dies, you die as well. Are you not afraid of death? I was never really alive to begin with. I'm just a bit of Fritz's mind, given independence. This body isn't mine, so I could destroy it and not feel a thing. It will be Fritz that suffers. Princess, don't listen to him. You know it's a trap. I know Waltz is telling the truth. I can see it in the look on Varj's face. I grip the cane tighter to me. Varj is lying to me. He will definitely suffer, but he is also serious about hurting Fritz, and I cannot let that happen. Now do as you're told, little princess. Don't be stupid, Melody. You'll leave everyone here alone. Varj nods, amusement flickering in his eyes. As my princess commands. Princess, don't! I am so sorry. But just as I start to move towards Varge, a bright light shines out from behind me. The shield of light pushes forward and past me, shoving Varge back and out through the hole he'd made in the wall. I turn, barely able to believe what I see. Parfait! She comes to stand in front of me. Listen closely. We don't have much time. Parfait's eyes flicker to Varge, who is shifting ever so slightly in the rubble. Even I could tell he is only temporarily out of commission. Tomorrow, midnight, meet us at the palace gates. Bring Neverland and Tinkerbell with you. But you? Do you understand? Shut up, phone. I falter as I imagine what Parfait could possibly be planning, but I have no time, and I can read nothing in her gaze. There is nothing else for me to do but nod in understanding. Yes, I understand. Parfait smiles at me as she caresses my cheek with a gentle hand. I have faith in you, Princess. We all do. You'll be fine. Parfait! Parfait grabs me by the shoulders and forcefully pushes me towards Varge. He catches me, his hands firmly gripping my shoulders as I am careened into him. Keep her safe, Fritz. Varge flinches. He is inhaling and getting ready to speak when the air around us suddenly thins and we are swallowed by light. When I am able to breathe again, I open my eyes and see that I am back at the palace. Did Parfait transport us? I become aware that Varge is still has his hands on my shoulders, and I wrench free from his grip. Strange that your friends would actually send you back here with me. Seems like they need you to retrieve something from the palace. Varge reaches out and snatches his cane from my hands. I'm not letting you leave the palace again, Princess. The palace is eerily silent, and it is as if none of the chaos that just transpired ever happened, like it was all a dream. I ignore Varge and walk back through the gates as I suffocate the seething turmoil inside of me. Just try and stop me! I slam my bedroom door behind me and lock it. It's only been a few hours since I was here. Since Jurian and Garlan. I close my eyes and will the memories away. Now is not the time. I must keep my promise to Parfait. I begin to search through my drawers. I could have sworn that this was the last place I saw Neverland and Tinkerbell. There it is! Tinkerbell, an elaborate golden key, is exactly where I remember leaving it. I place it carefully underneath my lamp so as to keep it hidden from sight. But where's Neverland? I nearly turn my room upside down looking for it, but I never find the golden box. It should be here. Why isn't it here? My body is heavy after all that happened today, and soon I find myself collapsed on my bed. It will be fine. I have until midnight tomorrow to find it. I'll continue looking in the morning. Oh no. My sleep is broken and disjointed, so when dawn comes filtering through my windows, I'm already half awake. I pull myself out of bed and rub at my eyes. I need to find Neverland! I retrieve Tinkerbell from where I'd hidden it and slip the key into my pocket. Then, with renewed determination, I continue my search. Why isn't it here? It had been right next to Tinkerbell. I feel I would remember had I moved it. But I did drop Neverland months ago, didn't I? I'd been meaning to get it fixed, but I always forgot. But it's not here. That means someone must have taken it. But who? Would Mother or Mithros have taken it? Where should I look? The throne room. Thankfully, when I get to the throne room, it is empty. But where do I even begin to look? Out of the corner of my eye, I notice something sparkle from the throne. I rush towards the throne and I'm unable to believe my dumb luck. There it is. The box is definitely there, sitting right in front of me. I found it. But why is it just sitting here? Something feels off. If it isn't my disobedient daughter. I reach out and snatch Neverland to hold it to my chest. I have to keep Neverland and Tinkerbell safe, no matter what. I'm glad to see one of my servants is capable. Still, I wonder why Varge did not report his success in retrieving you. Varge did not tell her. I shall have a word with that cur. Mother walks toward me. I was not amused when you left the palace, Melody, but I thought that sooner or later Faye would send you here to retrieve something. You were a very good girl for keeping that box safe as I told you to. But I see it was a mistake to leave it here while I was attending to Mithros's reports. I clutched Neverland tighter. This does not belong to you. Mother's voice is ice cold when she speaks. Oh? You hurt me so much last night. I hope you're not planning on leaving me again. I know you're hurting too, dearest one. I know you want to stay here with me. Mother sighs, and suddenly I could see the mother from my memories, the one that held me close and sung me to sleep at night, If Faye hadn't interfered, you would be so much happier. Faye! Once upon a time, she was my dear friend. We were like sisters until she betrayed me. She is no doubt going by a different name to hide her true nature from you. But you know that she is pulling you. But you now know. You know that she is pulling you from your birthright. You were happier when you could not remember, weren't you? What? Oh, my darling. Mother reaches for me, and I cannot move as she sets a hand on my cheek. I have only ever wanted to protect you, Melody. I have only ever wanted the best for you. Mother gently runs a hand through my hair. I sacrificed so much so that my daughter could be a crown princess. I did not want to erase your memories, but I knew how much it would hurt you if you knew my true nature. And I knew how sad you would be if you knew just how much your father did not love us, either of us. And all because of his ridiculous love for that wretched harlot and her whelps, the very same commoner he married after I was gone, the woman he sought to marry from the start. Ophelia! The king has loved Ophelia for so long? Isn't that unbelievable? That he was still so loyal to her even after he had me. I should have made good on my threat and just killed her, regardless of whether Gennaro did. Regardless of whether Gennaro did. Oh, okay, as I demanded. Sorry, guys, I am very out of it today. Lupus is kicking my butt. But he has always hated witches. That is why he is so cruel to you, why he was so cruel to both of us. Dearest one, we only have each other, so it was and so it will be. I am the only one that will never hurt you, the only one you ever need to love and obey. Your longing for anyone else, your memories of anyone else, they are all unnecessary. Now be a good girl and listen to Mother. Nope, I'ma refuse. I flinch away from Mother's reaching hand. Mother hurt the king. She hurt so many people. She killed Garlan. No. What did you say to me? I cannot let her hurt anyone else. No. Mother's eyes glitter as light begins to collect in her palms. I can only hear bear your disobedience for so long, Melody. It seems you require disciplining. Mother raises her hands, the light reflecting the cruelty in her gaze that I am now too familiar with. Knowing I couldn't outrun her, I turn my back and hold Neverland in my chest. I must protect Neverland! The air crackles and I brace myself for whatever Mother might unleash. I feel a hand on my back, then I am pushed away. I fall down on the ground hard. What was that? You! Did you miss me? Delora! How did you get in here? I had some help. Princess! Fritz? He's back! Fritz runs toward me and holds out his hand to help me up. Fritz! I thought I'd lost you! It is only for a second, but he pulls me close to him in a hug. I would never leave you. Fritz's arms tighten around me briefly before he releases me. We both turn to face Mother. You were going to hurt her, your own daughter. This is no concern of yours, and even if it was, what could you hope to achieve? You are so much weaker than the wolf, so much weaker than Varge. Fritz's body stiffens. Even now, you only cling to a shred of control. Tell me, Sir Fitzgerald, how much longer until you are completely erased? He was strong enough to resist Varge, so much that he was able to get me in here past your guards and your barriers. I think that makes Fritz plenty strong. I do not recall giving the traitor permission to speak. Do not think I've forgotten how you've betrayed me, Delora. I haven't forgotten anything either, Hildeer. Loria was only a child. Her fate was entirely your doing. Who are you talking about? Loria was my daughter. I've never heard Delora speak of a child. I had always opposed Hildeer's actions. I disagreed with her creation of the fairy tale curse from the beginning. But when I voiced my opinions out loud, she targeted my daughter. She killed her in front of me. Suddenly, everything in the room is still. The two women glare at each other, but neither one of them moves. You were not there when our kind were being hunted and slaughtered like animals in their own homes. I am the Tenebrarum bearer. I felt each of their deaths like they were my own. Retribution was necessary, but you, being so holy and so good, it took little Loria's death for you to understand the anguish of our brethren, to comprehend my anguish. I would not have killed her if you were not so blind. She was only 10! And she suffered for your weakness. Delora holds out her arm and sweeps it across the room, lightning traveling up her arm. Fritz tugs me around one of the columns and then presses my back into the coolness of the pillar. He holds himself against me, acting as a shield. Don't move. The ground shakes as Delora releases her spell. You think you can defeat me when you haven't even been training. How foolish. Please, I have no intention of defeating you. Fritz? Cover your ears, princess. Too confused to question him, I obey. I hear the sound of lightning crackling in the air, followed by an explosion. The column comes crashing down into the other side of the room. Time to go. Fritz's hand tightens around mine. We run out of the throne room with Delora as Mother's screech sounds through the room behind us. Are you okay? Yes, I'm all right. I'm just so glad you're here. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought he was changing back. See, what did I tell you? What are you talking about? Your knight here was scared that you wouldn't want to see him anymore after what happened yesterday. Fritz's fingers tighten over my own. If only I was strong enough to fight Varge, I could have... It wasn't your fault, Fritz. But what matters is that you are here now. Fritz looks at me and smiles. How did you know where I would be? Intuition. And magic. Well, yes, and magic. Do you have Tinkerbell? I hold Neverland in one hand as I reach with my other to search for the key in my pocket. Thankfully, my fingers still brush against the cool metal. It's in my pocket. Good, very good. Whatever happens, you must get Neverland and Tinkerbell to the Marchen, okay? I nod my head. That's a good girl. Parfait said to be here at midnight. What time is it? We're too early. Sometimes Parfait is early too. Looks like tonight is not one of those nights, though. It looks like my coming early was both a blessing and a setback. She is using the name Parfait. How sweet. Fritz steps in front of me as Mother reappears in front of us. Stay behind me. Fritz! I would never forgive myself if you got hurt. Please, stay behind me. Fritz smiles gently at me, and my chest aches at the sight. Everything will be all right, I promise. I promise I'll protect you. I know you will. Fritz, Melody must make it out at all costs. I do not like the sound of that. And you must understand why I cannot let you take my daughter from me. Oh, you took mine. Dolores' hands begin to glow. Perhaps this time Melody shall watch as you die, Delora. No! Well, you can try and kill me, but your chances are slim. I have a very good knight with me, and I think he likes me more than he likes you. That can be remedied. Mother flicks her wrist. Delora holds out her own hand as if to prepare for the impact of a spell, but the magic never comes. Mother is not aiming for Delora. With a gasp, Fritz drops his sword and falls to his knees. Fritz! Come along, Varge. I won't let you. That's when I realize that Mother is calling for Varge. Her hand twists in the air, manipulating Fritz's body to copy its movements. His body writhes and turns as he struggles to remain himself. Now. No, Fritz! Princess, I'm sorry, but I can't. Fritz looks at me one last time before the familiar darkness envelops his body. Fritz! Now, Varge, be a good dog and get Melody back to her room. When Varge appears, he is standing absolutely still, his eyes surveying everything calmly. There is an intensity to them, but it is sharp and contained. I flinch back from Varge's bright eyes. No. Varge, you were going to hurt her. Pardon? I don't intend to obey someone who would hurt the princess. Mother hisses in annoyance. I do not know how you inspire such loyalty, Melody, but it is very inconvenient. Mother flicks her wrist, and a responding light flares out from behind her. My queen. Great reinforcements. I order you to restrain your pet, Mithros. At once, my queen. Mithros extends his hand towards Varge, and the minute he does, Varge's body stiffens and he grits his teeth. I always make sure to have control over any of my creations. This is not going as planned. You had a plan? Now, my darling. My hands shake and Neverland nearly tumbles from my hands as I try not to collapse. Since you have become so tainted by the thoughts these people have put into your head, I shall have to start all over again. But don't be afraid. Cleansing your memories will not hurt. And when you wake, you will be my daughter again, my dearest one. Mother reaches out her hand towards me. Every fiber of my being screams at me to move, but my feet are heavy and I am shaking so hard I cannot stand straight. I do not want to forget anything or anyone anymore. Behind me, the clock tower begins to chime. Not on my watch. Delora quickly runs in front of me and casts a protective shield. Delora, you can't! I will not let her erase any of your memories, Melody. I brace myself for impact, and I feel the ground shudder as Mother's spell comes into contact with Delora's shield. A loud crack emanates from Delora's shield as it begins to crack. An offensive spell? You're going to kill your own Delora's words fade when we see another spell coming towards us. I hear a low laugh rise from Mother's throat. Goodbye, Delora. Melody, run! Delora! I cough as clouds of smoke slowly fade away after the impact. My whole body feels as hollow as ice as I gaze at the sight before me. Delora's body lies on the floor in front of me, unmoving. I collapse to the ground, my vision blurry as I stare numbly at Delora's limp figure. No! This cannot be! I reach out to touch her and sharply inhale when I feel how cold and clammy her skin is. No! Delora! Always conjure another shield after being hit by a powerful spell. Have you forgotten your lessons, traitor? Now she can finally reunite with her daughter. Neverland tumbles from my grasp as I grab Delora's arm to shake her. No, Delora, please! She's still breathing. She can be saved. She cannot die like this. A bright light appears before me, and suddenly Parfait is standing right in front of me. Hildeer, what have you done? Faye, it's been a while. Parfait addresses me without looking back. Princess, do you have Neverland? Yes! I blindly reach for Neverland with one hand as I keep the other on Delora's arm. A warm hand settles on my shoulders. The touch is comforting and familiar. Have faith, Princess. I will not allow you to leave, Fairy. Mithras casts his magic, but Parfait easily deflects it. She moves to cast a spell of retaliation, but doubles over as soon as the spell flares out around her. You are fading, Faye. The Lucius itself is fading with you. My eyes lock with Varge's, and for a moment I can see Fritz through him. I see his lips move, but whatever words he speaks to me are mute. He shakes his head. Light begins to engulf me, and I see nothing apart from Delora's pale face on my lap. I do not move, even when the marching walls come into existence around me. The place is devoid of its usual warmth. Delora! She is not responding. I fight down the rising grief and try to remain calm as I turn to Parfait. Please save her! Save her! Parfait glances down at Delora, eyes glassy. It is as if she is hiding emotions behind a frigid mask. I feel that her mask is a reflection of my own. Any moment now, it will fall away, and I will be able to see her tears. Princess, the spell that Hildeer used was a powerful one. There's nothing I can do. The air in the marchand seems to leave all at once. No, that's not true. You have to. Melody. Delora? She does not move, and her eyes are still closed as she speaks. Melody, I'm sorry, but I can't stay. No, don't say that! I've been lucky. Hildeer took my Loria, but I got you in return. I like to think that my daughter would have grown up to be someone like you. Delora! I believe in you, Melody. I have always believed in you. You cannot leave, Delora. I won't let you leave. Though Delora's body does not move, I can feel the energy of her body slip through my fingers like sand. Her body slowly begins to fade away until only specks of glittering golden dust remain. A terrible, prickling cold seeps into my heart and chest. Then the frigidness envelops my whole body. I cannot breathe. It is only when a teary-eyed Parfait pulls me into a hug that I realize my throat is raw and that I have been screaming in grief. I do not remember being tucked into bed. In the silence of the dark night, I could feel the absence of Delora like a hole in my chest. Sleepless hours tick by in a haze until the morning sun creeps through the window. Melody! You didn't get any sleep, did you? I shake my head. I wish I could give you time to grieve. She died protecting me. I cover my face with my hands, and hot tears that I thought had dried begin pouring from my eyes again. Both of them, Garlan and Delora, died because of me. This is my fault. If only I was strong enough, I could have... No, Princess. If it is anyone's fault, it is mine. Both Delora and Parfait keep owning up to this blame, but do either of them deserve any of it? Your mother and I were like sisters once. I couldn't bring myself to hurt her. Because of that, I didn't act in time to save her from the Tenebrarum's corruption. If you are seeking to blame anyone, blame me. I am responsible for all of this needless pain, all because I could not stop Hildir. I was too afraid, and now I'm too weak. But what could you have done? Mother is. I don't think anything can stop Mother. The Lucius and the Tenebrarum are inextricably linked to each other and to their bearers. Excuse me. The crystallum, cannot exist without each other. If one is destroyed, so is the other. What are you saying? We can stop Hildir if we destroy the Lucius. That would destroy the Tenebrarum as well. Parfait, that's insane! This world has suffered from magic for 3 centuries. Maybe it is more bad than good. Perhaps the only solution is to remove the source of it forever. But Mother only survived because she was the Tenebrarum bearer. She lived so long as the Tenebrarum exists. If the Tenebrarum is destroyed, Hildir shall die. But you're suggesting that we destroy the Tenebrarum through destroying the Lucius? Parfait smiles at me, but I find no comfort in it. I will only say it's my time. You cannot be serious. There has to be another way. There has already been so much suffering. Delora and Garlan did not die, so you would have to give up your life as well. I'm not saying we make a decision now. After what happened with Varge, I have strengthened the Marchand's defenses and added a glamour, for now we are safe here. Breakfast will be ready soon. Join us when you're able. The others will need to know what happened last night. There must be another way to stop Mother. There has to be. By the time I make it to the dining area, the food is cold. I am not surprised by the state of the food, but seeing Waltz in a grown-up body is definitely shocking. Oh, Princess. Waltz quickly makes his way over toward me and kneels down. He almost looks like a knight, though he is lacking the armor. Thank you for breaking my curse. At least I was able to do something good, but still. Princess? I do not notice the tears rolling down my cheeks until he calls my title softly. Oh, what's this? Waltz the Big has made the princess cry? No, it isn't Waltz. Delora believed I could accomplish 3 good deeds, and yet I... You like hot chocolate, right, darling? I'll get the mugs. Gently, Waltz leads me to a bench and sits next to me. Parfait hasn't told them what happened to Delora yet. All of them are smiling at me, trying to cheer me up, but how can I possibly smile now? I need to tell you all something. Hot chocolate first, talking later. You look pale, like you didn't sleep at all last night. And have you even eaten recently? Now that I think about it. No, I haven't. Rod, who I hadn't even realized was back at the margin, stiffly stands up from his chair and walks away. He was here this whole time, just listening quietly in the corner. Did I say something wrong? Walt smiles at me as he pats my shoulder. We've sent a niece off to look after Jurian, so it's just us at the margin. Rod's been taking care of meals, so he's probably going to get you something to eat. But why? Rod has never liked me. Oh, he likes you more than you think. You saved his family from Varge, Princess. I doubt he minds cracking a few eggs for you. Rod comes back into the room and places utensils in a plate in front of me. It is filled with toast and scrambled eggs. I know it's not much, but you need to eat. I have no appetite, but he is right. I pick up my fork and stab a few eggs to try. This is good. Thank you. No problem. Suddenly, I am incredibly aware of how famished I am. I shovel the rest of the food into my mouth eagerly. I am eating the last remnants of my toast when Rumple comes back into the room holding far too many mugs for one person to manage. And now I present to you hot chocolate a la Rumple. Waltz jumps up to save the several mugs from Rumple's precarious hold. Ah, hot chocolate, how lovely. I knew this would happen, so I made plenty. Waltz and Rumple place the mugs on the table. Rumple counts all of them. 5, 6, wait. Where is Lady Delora? The fork I am holding clatters to the plate. It is the only sound in the suddenly quiet room. Delora passed away last night. What? The atmosphere shifts. Everyone is openly frowning, their eyes filled with regret. So the night ended up being a turncoat after all. Fritz had nothing to do with it. Fritz helped Delora get to me, just when Mother was going to take Neverland. We would have all made it out alive if Mother hadn't used her magic to summon Varge. Mother was going to erase all my memories again, and I did not know what to do, so I just stood there. It was just like what happened with Garlan. And now Delora is dead because of me. But I'm gonna end the episode here. This is too much for one episode. Yeah. So if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below, and if you haven't already, subscribe. It will help me out a lot. And your likes and subscribes also tell me that you want to see more of this. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!